We are ready. What's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank y'all so much for joining us for this being our review for 90 Days, The Hunt for Love. This is episode 1, and season 1, episode 9. I'm back with my main man, Dustin. Dustin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I hope Jennifer's doing okay because hope she's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hope so.
Hopefully everything will come together. But anyways, a couple things I want you guys to do before we get started. Be sure to press that big red subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to mash that thing. So go ahead and mash it for a brother. Be sure to leave a thumbs up for this video. Let me know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my channel. Also, be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the goings on Hunt for Love. Let me know who your favorite participants are, who your favorite potential couples are. Let us know down in the comments. Also, be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Now, we start off where we left off on the last episode, where we have Jay and Carlo getting into a little bit of a heated discussion concerning the fact that Jay wanted to ask Tiffany out on a date, and Carlo seemingly did not have the best of thoughts concerning that particular aspect of that happening. And so, Jay was like, well, I came to you like a man, and, I told you that I was going to ask Tiffany out on a date, and I did, and you said that it was okay. But now that you got some liquid courage in you, you think you're all big and bad. And, Carlo did say that Jay hit him first. Now, I watched the footage a couple times, and yes, Jay did get up into his face, but Carlo was calling him a bitch. So,
Yeah.
when you call a black man a bitch, that's typically an indication to that the way that he did. I felt that he was fully in his right to, exactly do what exactly he did. And Carlo, to me, sounds like a bitter Betty, a bitter, jealous Betty. So it was a little bit confusing to me how that all went down, because if Jay is saying that he went up to Carlo and Carlo is like, it didn't happen like that. Well, how exactly did it happen? Since it wasn't taped, then none of us really know exactly how that whole meeting
Well,
between them, Jay telling Carlo that he wanted to take Tiffany out. We don't know exactly how that went. But Dustin,
right.
what were your thoughts? I know we talked about it on the previous episode, but once again, what was your thought on that whole altercation going down between Carlo and Jay?
I didn't like it. I did not like it at all
Me
because
either.
I don't think that like I said, and I said it before. I don't think there are certain things that need to be said behind closed doors, and they don't need to be broadcasted on broadcast TV. That's one of them, Jonathan. I don't think that when you have a situation like that, it don't need to be broadcasted all over the internet or all over the cable TV. You know, you're filming a show. Yes, I know there's drama, but there's a level to my. There's a level of acceptance in my head, and I don't think that it's being acceptable on TV. Nope, I don't like it.
Right. Yeah.
That's my
I
point.
never like
Mhm.
to see. Right. I never like to see people getting in altercations while they're on a TV show. And it used to be like back in the day, if you got in an altercation, you going
You
home.
get
You
kicked
getting
off of
up
there.
out of here, because a lot of times,
Mhm.
right, they were typically kicked off of the show. Now, this didn't necessarily get physical. It was about to get physical. See Auntie Robin in the comments. Hey, Auntie Robin, thank you so much for
Hey,
being
everyone,
here. Love
everyone.
you being in the
Mhm.
comments, boo.
Yes.
But yeah, it used to be like back in the day when reality TV first started out. If you get into an altercation, of any physical altercation, then you getting kicked off the show, and they do sign in their contracts, or they used to sign in their contracts, that they would not get in a physical altercation with anyone. And so I don't know if
Mm.
that has changed now, especially with shows like Love and Hip Hop, where they're constantly fighting. Shows like the Bad Girls Club, where they were constantly fighting. I think things have changed over time, but we'll see where it goes from here. And really, the only other thing that happened on this episode, this might be a quick review, y'all, but what happened on the other thing that happened on the episode is the fact that
Right.
that all of the couples went on this little retreat. I
Mhm.
can't remember exactly where they went, but they went to this place that had a nice pool,
Mhm.
nice waters for everyone to relax and things like that. On their way there, we see Tim and Elsie. Her name is Elsie. I think I was calling her something else on the previous episode, and I apologize about that. But Tim and Elsie are kind of getting to know each other, and Tim is asking some very pointed questions to Elsie that might be a little uncomfortable for someone else if they're not used to that type of jargon, going into a potential relationship. But he's asking her, how many partners have you had? Is it 2 digits or 3 digits? I think that's a little personal. I don't think that's really anybody's business how people you've had relations with. He's asked her, has she ever had an STD or STI?
That's a little personal for me.
Very personal information, Dustin. And I'm like, I will be a little bit uncomfortable having to answer those questions, even though like I'm open to anyone who wants to know any information about me. But at the same time, you really have to consider what is your business and what is not your business. Now, do I think, your potential significant other should know your body count, what people would say as to how many people you've had sex with? I don't think that's important when going into a relationship. I feel like when you go into a relationship, you should start with a clean slate. Although I think that is different when it comes to those who are prone to infidelity. If you've cheated on a partner in the past, I do think that is a fair question to ask. However, as far as like your body count and, if you've ever had STDs and things of that nature, like that gets a little personal and maybe like a little bit further into the relationship. Maybe you should ask those questions. But Dustin, did you find that a little uncomfortable to hear Tim asking Elsie, Elise, all these personal questions?
Yes, I thought it was very personal. I definitely would not ask somebody that question.
Right.
If somebody wanted to tell me that, that would be okay. But I would not go out and ask that question. This for my sanity. I would have somebody tell me that themselves. If somebody wanted to tell me that, that's okay. But I would not ask that question because that's too personal for me.
I just called Elsie Elise again, but Elsie, she seems not to be affected by these questions, and I'm so glad that she's not making Tim feel awkward. But Tim has actually said in the confessionals that it's hard for him to realize whether a potential partner is interested in him as a friend or is interested in him as someone who would want to potentially be in a relationship with him. And I can really understand where he comes from that, because a lot of times when I get attention, I automatically think that it's to be potentially in a relationship and not someone actually just being nice. I'm always going to go there. And I do think that I have to revise that mindset because, some people just want to pay you a compliment. It doesn't mean that they actually are interested in you. And, I've got to get out of that mindset. But I'm glad that, Elise, I'm sorry, not Elise, Elsie, did not make him feel, I'm sorry, hold on, I have to look at her name again because I wrote it down. I have to make sure that I have it right. Is it Elise or Elsie? It looks like it is Elise. So it's Elise. I'm sorry. I keep.
Yes, that's okay. It's Elise, Jonathan. It's Elise.
It is Elise. Yeah. So
yes.
So yeah. It seems like Tim is getting close with Elise. I think that's great for both of them. I'm not expecting them to necessarily start dating, but if they do start dating, I will be happy for them because Tim is actually one of my favorite people that's on this cast. I love the fact that he is completely himself. Really, I think a lot of the people on this cast are being themselves, but I really like Tim and him being open. We saw him talking with one of the dating coaches when they got to their destination. And the dating coach said, it's really hard to teach an old dog new tricks. Not that Tim is old. I think he's in his like mid to late 30s or early 40s.
He's in his middle 30s.
Mid-30s, yeah. So, compared to everyone else who was on the cast, he is one of the older people, one of the older participants that is here for this retreat. But, it is what it is. I like Tim, though. I do think Tim is one of my favorite males on this show. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens later on in this season. And we did get a preview at the end of the episode what the rest of the season was going to hold. And we saw that Colt is actually going to come back into the villa, which I was extremely surprised about. We saw him talking to and kissing Courtney in a preview for the rest of the season. But we'll see where that goes, anyways. But
I think Colt and Courtney is going to get together.
That's what it seems like is going to happen. And And if that is the case, I would feel kind of bad for Usman or Usman because he's really interested in Courtney, and we saw in the preview for the rest of the season that he actually told Courtney that he loved her before they were about to go on an activity or something of that nature. I think they were. I can't remember exactly what they were going to do, but anyways, Usman seems to be putting all his eggs in Courtney's basket, and I'm not sure if Courtney is going to
I
reciprocate
don't
those
think that's
same
the best thing for
feelings.
him to do.
I don't think so either. I think Usman needs to keep his options open, all of his options open. But it seems like he's only got his eyes on Courtney, which is interesting because in the first
And
episode he was
that's
acting
a
like
red
he didn't
flag
know
to
who
me.
she was.
And that's a red flag to me. I don't know if you think it's a red flag, but I think it is. You shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. I have
To
learned from my mistakes, Jonathan, and I've
Yeah,
done it before, so I definitely don't want to do it again. And
right.
I think that he's making a mistake by putting all his eggs in one basket. But we'll see how that goes.
To be honest, just speaking for myself personally, if I was on one of these retreats with a bunch of single men who are looking for love, I would want to keep my options open. However, if I do find someone that I find as a potential partner, I
Mhm.
probably would put all of my eggs in that basket and try to ignore everyone just to respect that other potential partner. But I do
Right.
get exactly what you're saying, Dustin, because if that person doesn't reciprocate the same feelings that you have for them, then that just
Uh-huh.
leaves you out to dry, and you've ignored
Right.
everyone else that is on the retreat, and then you have no other prospects for love. So
Mhm.
it is interesting. We see Tammy's in the comments. Hey Tammy, thank you
Hey,
so much
Tammy.
for being here. Let me see your comment. Let me see what you said, boo. So Tammy says, "Hey there. I haven't been watching this, but I caught a quick episode. I thought Colt was married. Yes, Colt did
He
used to
w-
be married.
he used to be
There
married.
there are actually a couple participants on this show, Tammy, that have been married in the past. Rob is on this show. I think Chantel used to be married. Usman
Chantel
used to
used
be
to be married.
married. Tim and Jennifer used to be married. I believe, and so most of these participants on this show, Tammy, have been married in the past, but they're on this show actually looking for love. So none of them, even though Rob is not technically divorced just yet, all of these people who are all of these participants on the show are actually looking for love. Now, I don't know if
Right.
that's actually the case because we see Chantel, who is still going back and forth with this whole thing about whether she's into her friend Ashley who kissed her before she came out to this
Mhm.
retreat, or if she's going to actually participate and try to get to know other people. We saw her with, I think his name was Joe. She went on a date with him in a beer bath earlier this season, and but she doesn't really seem to be interested in finding love. That's the thing about Chantel
Oh
that
Lord.
sort of
Mhm.
kind of grinds my gears because if you're going to
Right.
participate in a show like this, how about you participate with everything that you have and not hold back? And Chantel is
Mm.
definitely holding back. And it's like, if you're going to hold back, then you might as well just go home, because if you're not interested in participating with the other singles who are here, then what are you here for? I think
Right.
Chantel is just here to be on camera again. Which, again, if that's your thing,
She's
so be
on.
it. But be
She's on
honest
here to get
about
a.
it.
She's on here to get a paycheck.
That's what it seems like to me, Dustin.
Mhm.
And to be honest, when you're in a situation like this, I feel as though you should be, putting your best foot forward in whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing on the show. And she's
Right.
definitely not doing that. But we then get back to this whole discussion about who told Jennifer that Elise and Rob, or is it Elsie? Is it Elsie or is Elsie? Isn't it?
Yeah. It's Elise. I think it's
Elise.
no.
Okay.
L.
I keep forgetting, Dustin. I don't know what it is. Elise.
You're okay. Me too. I forgot
Um,
it too.
so this whole rumor about Elise and Rob getting together the day before, and Jennifer said that it was Cole who told her. Now Elise wants to confront Cole about this, and Jennifer is sitting right next to him. And Cole says he didn't say it. Cole says that he didn't say it. And so now Elise is upset with Jennifer because she's thinking Jennifer is just a liar. And then Cole ends up saying that Tiffany is the one that told him the rumor. And Cole is looking so guilty this entire time. He's not looking at Jennifer. He's only looking at Elise. And then Tiffany comes over into the conversation and she raises her voice. And Jennifer is on Cole's side. And, she wants to back her potential up and this whole, back and forth thing that's going on. And so Chantel gets into the middle of it, and she's trying to get the full answers from Cole. And is starting to say, "Well, everyone's been talking about it, and I've had multiple conversations with multiple people at the villa, and he doesn't want to give any straight answers to anyone," which leads me to believe that Cole never told Jennifer anything. And I think that Cole is just trying to back Jennifer up in what she's been saying, so that she doesn't look like a fool on national TV. That's my whole thought process watching this. Dustin, what do you believe is the actual situation that's going on here? Do you think Cole was the one that told Jennifer? Do you think Jennifer just made this up? What do you think is the case?
I think that Cole told Jennifer, and that's just my opinion on that one. My opinion is that I think that he did tell her because he looked very guilty he looked very guilty to me on this latest episode. And if you're the one that told her, and if you don't want to tell her now, we're going to find out at the tell-all. So either you tell her now before the tell-all even begins, or we're going to find out at the tell-all. Because I think that he did tell her. That's my opinion.
The thing is, something tells me that Cole is trying to cover for Jennifer, because I honestly think that Jennifer just pulled that rumor out the crack of her ass. Like, I really don't think that Cole told Jennifer anything. And I think Cole is just trying to back Jennifer up so that she doesn't look like a liar in front of everyone. But you could be right, Dustin. It could have been Cole, because he was saying that, Tiffany told him. And then Tiffany, I believe Tiffany when she said that she did not tell Cole anything like that, because
Tiffany don't do that.
Right. Tiffany is not a messy girl. Tiffany is a girl's girl. She's not going to be spreading rumors about anyone for no reason. That's not the type of person that Tiffany is. And so I don't think that it's fair to Tiffany to be put in the middle of this when she has absolutely nothing to do with it.
I don't think it's fair for Tiffany for her name to be put in the middle of this situation. I know she's on the show, but it's not fair for her to be put in the middle of it all.
I don't think so either. I think it's very unfortunate that Cole found it. And once again, that's what makes me think that Cole didn't say it at all, because I think he's doing the same thing that Jennifer is doing. And he's just pulling random stuff out the crack of his behind just to try to sound logical, to try to sound like he's actually telling the truth, when I don't believe that he's telling the truth at all. However, he did look extremely guilty. So I don't know what he was looking guilty about. Was he looking guilty because he did actually tell Jennifer, or looking guilty because he was trying to cover up for Jennifer? That I'm not exactly sure how to read that whole situation. But Cole ended up walking away from the situation altogether. Once again, looking guilty again. It's Cole. I'm starting not to like Cole, and now I'm starting to think that maybe Cole is perfect for Jennifer. I think they belong together. I think Rob deserves better. I think Rob really just hooked up with Jennifer.
I think Rob deserves happiness.
Agreed. I agree with that.
I don't think Rob will be happy with her in the long haul. I don't want to see Rob hurt again. I know there's a lot of people that don't agree with me, and that's okay. But I don't want to see him hurt again.
Well, I think Rob has kind of set himself up on this 90 Day Fiancé franchise to be seen sort of as a villain. And me personally, and this is strictly because I think he's a very attractive man. I just want to see the best in Rob at all times. And I'm so glad that he stayed out of that whole situation with Elise. And Cole and Tiffany. I'm so glad that he stayed away. And the producers were asking him, why are you not in on the conversation as well? And Rob was like, I don't want nothing to do with all that drama. Rob does not like drama, which is why I'm thinking things didn't end up happily with Sophie, because Sophie is sort of kind of a drama queen. So I understand why that relationship didn't work.
Rob is like me. I don't like drama, Jonathan. But if I get put in the middle of it, I'm going to give you my opinion. And sometimes, I have an opinion on certain things. So if I get put in the middle of it, then of course I'm going to give you my opinion. But I don't like drama. I don't like drama. Period.
Yeah, I don't like drama or confrontation at all. It's
Nope.
to me it's unnecessary. And
Right,
if we need to work something out, let's talk it out like two adults.
right,
And
Jonathan.
not get all rah about it.
Hmm.
But so I'm so glad that Rob stayed out of that whole mess, because really, if he
Right.
had gotten into it, then it might have just blown up even more. But one other storyline that we've been following that has become very repetitive.
Mhm.
Tiffany spoke about it on a couple of different occasions in the confessionals. Hey, Lady Virgo, see Lady
Hey,
Virgo in
Lady
the
Virgo.
comments.
Good,
Thank you
good
so much
evening.
for being
Good
here.
evening, Lady Virgo.
Lady Virgo says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Lady Virgo. So glad that you were here with us for this review." And so this whole storyline of Tiffany and her three prospects. She's got Rocky, which is the guy
Hmm.
with the mustache, who we really haven't seen a lot of during this season. I wish we would have seen a little bit more of him,
Mm.
but it seems like he's just here to have a good time, which I don't blame him if that's the
Right.
case. He's not connected to 90 Day Fiance in any way, so I'm just glad that he's here. And
Mm.
then she also has Carlo, and then she also has Jay. And then, Tiffany is kind of going back and forth as to, where she wants to go with this thing and who she really wants to be interested in. She keeps saying over and over again that Carlo, didn't seem to be interested once she told him that she had two kids. But then, he's fighting with Jay over her. So he's still clearly interested in her. So do you have an idea of who Tiffany might end up going with, Dustin? Because to me, it seems to be completely up in the air.
I don't have any clue, Jonathan.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say who it is. I don't know who it is. I don't know what. I don't know what she wants for her future, and I'm not gonna sit here and say somebody leans out to me because I don't. I'll be honest with you, Jonathan. I don't know who she's gonna end up with.
yeah. I hope Tiffany does at least give Jay a chance.
Mm.
At least give Jay a chance. At least go on one date with Jay. I
Right.
would love to see her dating Jay.
Mm.
Carlo, I kind of lost respect for Carlo after he got into that altercation with Jay
So
on
did
this
I.
episode. So I'm not necessarily liking him, and I really haven't
Mhm.
gotten a gauge on who Rocky is and what his personality is like. Yeah, we saw him doing some handstands on the first two episodes. I think it was, having a lot of fun. So I like Rocky's personality as far as what we saw from that. But we really don't know how he is like and how he kind of interacts with everyone, because the camera really hasn't been on him that much during this season. But
Mhm.
we'll see, if Tiffany is able to make that decision. And we saw in the
Right.
preview for the rest of the season that they're going to have a ceremony at the end of the season to see who feels like they made a connection and what they want to take it further. And we saw someone who looked like they might be proposing, pulling something out of a bag. Who knows if that's the case. So, Dustin, just to get your quick,
Mhm.
prediction, do you think that there will be any relationships that will come out of this season of Hunt for Love?
I think there might be two of them, but
Okay.
I think there might be two of them that I don't know for sure. But I think there's gonna be at least two of them come out of here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there might be any genuine
Mhm.
couples or relationships that come out of this, but I definitely think that Rob is going to want to be with Jen, and I know that Cole is definitely going to want to be with Jen. So it's going to be up to Jen to decide which one she wants. And I do think that she would pick Rob, but I think that it would be even more
I think it's
dramatic
gonna be a
if.
tie, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Lady
Right.
Virgo says down in the comments to JoJo Speaks and Dustin Butler, hey, you guys.
Hey.
Sorry I'm so late. No problem, Lady Virgo. I'm just so glad that you decided to join us. I'm glad to see you in the comments, period. Whether we have 30 minutes left in the show or 5 minutes left in the show. I'm just glad to see your beautiful emoji and your lovely name. So
Mhm.
it's totally fine. No worries at all, boo.
It's always the
Um,
highlight. The highlight of this show is the comments. So thank you for commenting and reacting to what we have to say on these topics.
Absolutely, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself, Dustin. So,
Mhm.
I do think that there might be some potential for love.
Mhm.
However, I don't know if there will be actual genuine love. Once again,
Mhm.
Courtney's going to have to choose between Usman and Colt. Tiffany's going to have to choose between Jay, Carlo, and Rocky. Although I don't really think Rocky's necessarily in the mix because she really hasn't even had any time to date Rocky. Um, so we'll see if she does end up going on a date with Rocky later on.
Right.
And I don't know who Jennifer is going to choose. Once again,
Mhm.
I feel like the right. In my opinion, I don't want her to choose Rob because I don't like Jennifer. I just don't like her.
I don't either. So,
I don't
I don't either.
like how she's been handling herself throughout this entire process. I don't blame her for not admitting to having sex with Rob. I don't blame her for not fessing up to that. However, it's eventually going to come out during this tell-all. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that anyways. But, you know, I am liking this season. It is going a little bit slow for me, to be honest. I wish things would move a little bit faster.
I wish it would be
but
faster.
hey, you know, that's the show that we got. But Dustin, oh, go ahead, Dustin.
I said I think I think it should be faster, but that's okay.
You think it should be faster as well?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah. So Dustin, why did you go ahead and give us your social media contacts real quick?
My social media contacts are Dustin Butler 700 on Instagram, and my Facebook is Dustin Butler. And I want to thank you for always being here, and the whole entire team. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Tyrone. Because if we didn't have them, we wouldn't have a show. So to be honest, because the show definitely helps having the whole team here. So thank you very much. And I want to say one more thing, Jonathan, if I can. Eva Pilgrim is the new host of the Inside Edition.
Go ahead.
So congratulations to Eva Pilgrim, because I think she would be the best host for Inside Edition.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So congratulations to her. I did send the article to Jonathan.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I only.
Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
I only see I watch Inside Edition in passing. I typically don't, you know, specifically go to look for Inside Edition, but they do have a lot of good topics on that show. So congratulations to their new host. You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. Ooh, excuse me, got a little gas, y'all. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is williamjonathanlee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $Jonathan Lee 07. That's $JONATHANLEE 07. Thank y'all once again for joining us for this being our review for 90 days. The Hunt for Love. Join us next week, same time, same place, same beautiful faces. And also make sure to join us on Thursday for my Hot Topics and Social Commentary show live at 8 p.m. Join us on Thursday live at 8 p.m. See you guys on the next video. Love you guys for watching. Take care, y'all.
And stay cool because it's hot here. So stay cool, everybody.
Yes, it's definitely hot. Stay cool.